Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's Tech Tuesday webinar. And today's topic is unlocking the power of Chat GPT to enhance adult ESL instruction. Although you can use Chat GPT for any other different purposes for other subject areas in adult education, the purpose of this webinar is going to strictly focus on adult ESL materials, but keep in mind that you can do the same thing for other subject areas or other programs in adult education. So again, like I said, welcome everybody and thank you for tuning in to today's webinar. Please feel free to use the chat as to introduce yourself and say hi to everybody. My name is Ron Cruz. I'm the coordinator here in Hillsborough County Public Schools Adult Education Program, also a statewide trainer for GED and IPDAY. I'm very happy to have all of you here this afternoon, and hopefully we can have one very productive webinar for us to talk about. But before we go into the meat of everything, just want to remind everybody that if you have any question, please type your question using your Q&A tab. You can also use the chat button, but I prefer if you use the Q&A tab. Your microphones will be muted for the entirety of this webinar, and you will only be in listen-only mode. This presentation is being recorded and will be available for you to review later on after 48 hours. That said, let's go ahead and get started. So if you don't already have ChatGPT on your phone, now is the time to take out your smartphone and download the ChatGPT app or through OpenAI. Please make sure that you're using the left QR code to scan if you're using an iPhone device, and if you're using an Android device or Google Play device, you're going to need to screenshot or scan the right side QR code. Now, for those of you that are using your computer, I'm going to give you the link in the handouts as well, and into the chat as well. All right, I'm going to give you about 15 more seconds to get that done. And if we move on into this and you didn't have a chance or opportunity to scan these QR codes to download it, that's fine. You can just get the copy of the handout materials on IPDAY website's webinar registration page, and you will see the QR codes there as well. So you can, so if I move my slides on, go to the IPDAY website, download the handouts provided for this webinar, and you can have access to these QR codes. We are not going to use the ChatGPT app for now until towards the end of this presentation. So let it download and all of that kind of stuff. And if it has already finished downloading, you can also go ahead and start signing in. So you might want to sign in with your email or your Google account. So either one will be fine. And then I'm going to give you some further instructions later on. All right, with that said, I'm going to move on to the next slide. All right, so what are the goals of this presentation? First, I'd like to go over and introduce what ChatGPT is and its application to education in general, focusing on adult ESL materials and instruction, specific ways, looking at the specific ways that you can really improve your planning and instruction and even assessment for using ChatGPT. We're also going to talk about the advantages of ChatGPT and some of the challenges that you might run into when using ChatGPT. Also provide insight into the role of the ChatGPT and how it's really personalizing learning and instruction, and what also you need to keep in mind when you're using ChatGPT. And then we're going to do some hands-on activities towards the end of the presentation, so you get to try what ChatGPT can do for you. All right, next. So ChatGPT is really a subset of a bigger technology called artificial intelligence. Okay, so ChatGPT is an example of an application of artificial intelligence, or what we call AI. So what we're going to do is I'm going to introduce to you the concept of an artificial intelligence before we just dive deeply into ChatGPT. So what is artificial intelligence? So I have this video clip to show you, to give you an idea of what artificial intelligence is. It's going to give us an idea or a better understanding of what ChatGPT is.
Picture this: a machine that could organize your cupboard just as you like it, or serve every member of the house a customized cup of coffee. Makes your day easier, doesn't it? These are the products of artificial intelligence. But why use the term artificial intelligence? Well, these machines are artificially incorporated with human-like intelligence to perform tasks as we do. This intelligence is built using complex algorithms and mathematical functions. But AI may not be as obvious as in the previous examples. In fact, AI is used in smartphones, cars, social media feeds, video games, banking, surveillance, and many other aspects of our daily life. The real question is, what does an AI do at its core? Here is a robot we built in our lab, which is now dropped onto a field. In spite of a variation in lighting, landscape, and dimensions of the field, the AI robot must perform as expected. This ability to react appropriately to a new situation is called generalized learning. The robot is now at a crossroad, one that is paved and the other rocky. The robot must determine which path to take based on the circumstances. This portrays the robot's reasoning ability. After a short stroll, the robot now encounters a stream that it cannot swim across. Using the plank provided as an input, the robot is able to cross this stream. So, our robot uses the given input and finds the solution for a problem. This is problem solving. These three capabilities make the robot artificially intelligent. In short, AI provides machines with the capability to adapt, reason, and provide solutions. Well, now that we know what AI is, let's have a look at the two broad categories an AI is classified into. Weak AI, also called narrow AI, focuses solely on one task. For example, AlphaGo is a maestro of the game Go, but you can't expect it to be even remotely good at chess. This makes AlphaGo a weak AI. You might say Alexa is definitely not a weak AI, since it can perform multiple tasks. Well, that's not really true. When you ask Alexa to play Despacito, it picks up the keywords play and Despacito, and runs a program it is trained to. Alexa cannot respond to a question it isn't trained to answer. For instance, try asking Alexa the status of traffic from work to home. Alexa cannot provide you this information, as she is not trained to. And that brings us to our second category of AI, strong AI. Now, this is much like the robots that only exist in fiction as of now. Ultron from Avengers is an ideal example of a strong AI. That's because it's self-aware and eventually even develops emotions. This makes the AI's response unpredictable. You must be wondering, well, how is artificial intelligence different from machine learning and deep learning? We saw what AI is. Machine learning is a technique to achieve AI, and deep learning, in turn, is a subset of machine learning. Machine learning provides a machine with the capability to learn from data and experience through algorithms. Deep learning does this learning through ways inspired by the human brain. This means through deep learning, data and patterns can be better perceived. Ray Kurzweil, a well-known futurist, predicts that by the year 2045, we would have robots as smart as humans. This is called the point of singularity. Well, that's not all. In fact, Elon Musk predicts that the human mind and body will be enhanced by AI implants, which would make us partly cyborgs. So, here's a question for you. Which of the below AI projects don't exist yet? A. An AI robot with citizenship. B. A robot with a muscular skeletal system. C. AI that can read its owner's emotions. D. AI that develops emotions over time. Give it a thought and leave your answers in the comment section below. 3 lucky winners will receive Amazon gift vouchers. Since the
Okay,
human
I'm gonna
brain
pause right here. We are not going to give you Amazon gift vouchers, unfortunately. But however, if you wanted to know the answer to that question, you're going to have to go to the video and go into the video feed and find out the answer to the question that was asked towards the end. So if you're very curious to find out, the link to this video is provided into the handout section that you can download from the webinar registration page of Tech Tuesday on the IPDE website.
picture.
So let's talk about AI. So AI has been with us for quite some time. It's actually the development through the earliest artificial intelligence started during the 1950s. As you can see, that as we gained more and more advancements in technology, the push towards artificial intelligence is also has also began. So when we started finding out about ELIZA and when the Deep Blue is a chess playing computer algorithm has been invented or developed, that's already bringing the pathways to AI. And then remember when we had started getting Roombas in our houses, that is also another example of artificial intelligence. Siri, when it came out on 2011, was the hottest thing since sliced bread. And Watson was developed around the same time as Siri was. And we were already so amazed with that technology. Now, fast forward to 2014. 2014 is when Alexa was discovered or was released to the masses. And we were already, again, a step up from Siri, began getting a lot more amazed with what Alexa can do and the capability of Alexa to control other programs that are connected to our Alexa home. And then now in towards 2017, AlphaGo was created. AlphaGo is the Google's version, for that was developed to it was Google's version of algorithm that was developed for a particular game of Go. And it can play pretty much at the level of how a human would play, if not better. So how is AI being used today? So you already know there's a lot of artificial intelligence that is already available to you. You've seen our mobile phones are starting to pick up AI. I just heard from news a couple of days ago that Samsung is bringing out a new model for their series of phone and smartphones, and they already have artificial intelligence built into the phone. But in the older phones, those face recognition, your fingerprint recognition is already part of that artificial intelligence technology. Social media, the algorithms that that you experience, like sometimes you're talking about something and when you go to your social media and pull up your phone, that same topic or feeds or products about that same conversation you have is starting to flood your feed. That's because your phone is listening to you, and there's that algorithm that is programmed within some of the social media apps that you have that filters into what the phone is hearing and puts those topics and products right in front of you, more likely for you to buy or interact with social media. Another our household, another place where you can see a lot of AIs when when some of your fans are being controlled or your air conditioning thermostat is being controlled by Google Nest, when your home is being controlled by Alexa or Alexa Home. A lot of those stuff are already operating on AI. Your car navigation. such as Google Map, is an example of AI. If you use Google Map, Waze, it allows you to change directions. Or even if you, let's say you forgot to make the turn, Google automatically thinks about the next best possible route for you to get back on track. So that's another example of artificial intelligence at work. And then, of course, who does not love Siri, Alexa, or Google Assistant, depending on which platform you use? These are apps that perform multiple tasks just through our voice commands. So, what is some of the most popular AI platforms today? Well, let me tell you that there is a lot. There's a lot of AI platforms that create like images of you, like headshots. There's AI that can draw pictures based on your description, AI that can generate videos, AI that can pretty much practically have pretty much a conversation between almost a live human being, but you're not really talking to someone that's really a live person. It's just AI. The most popular AI platform that has been always dominating the airwaves or our social media is Chat GPT. So um, I wanted to ask the question, does anybody know what GPT stands for? So I'm going to pause right here for a minute and give you an opportunity to guess what G, P, and T stands for. Then while you guys are doing that, I'm going to visit the the chat to see if you got any question. All right, so lots of highs and hellos, good mornings. Perfect. All right, so does anybody type it into the chat? What you think, or your Q&A tab if you want. What do you think is what does GPT stand for? And no, do not use your phone to Google the answer. Please just quickly guess. What do you think? All right, we got one that tried. We got a couple ones. Okay. So it's like, yes, this one is like a chatbot, more language model. Thank you for sharing. Something predictive technology. Okay. You're right around that. Okay, very good. Somebody got the right answer. I don't know if you knew it ahead of time or not. We're not going to get into that. But for those of you that do not know, ChatGPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. So just based on the initials GPT itself and what each initial stands for, it kind of gives you an idea of what it does. So generative is always going to be allowing you to generate information in a text format. So that's the generative part. Pre-trained is it does not generate text. It's not going to start generating text unless you actually give it a prompt. So you have to give it a prompt. And of course, you have to train Chat GPT. So it's different. It behaves differently to different people. And I've tried this so many times. Like I ask the Chat GPT on my phone the same exact question on another person's phone or computer, and it gave us two different answers. So it has to be pre-trained, meaning Chat GPT adapts to the information and the interactions you've been having with it over time, and it gets better and better, and it gets to know you. And then last but not the least is Transformer, because it takes the information you put in and transform it based on those pre-trained formats or conditions that you've indicated. So you can feed information into ChatGPT. You can also provide instructions and prompts, and then it's going to give you a generative response in text format. All right, so let's play a little bit of a game. So please have your chat bar available with you right now. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you two pictures, okay? And I want you to tell me whether it's real or it's artificially intelligent generated or AI generated, okay? So I'm going to show you a picture, and then all you're going to do into the chat is you're going to put either the word real or AI. Okay, so you're going to type the word real or type the word AI. Okay, you don't have to have the dots on AI. It's just be very quick. Just type AI or real if it's real, or you can just put R if you want to say it's real. So let's try to see how many answers you can get correct. Okay, so let's start off with this first picture right here. So on the chat, please tell me, what do you think this picture is? Is this real or AI? If it's real, type R or the word real. And if it's AI, type AI. Okay, all right. We've got a little bit of a split here. I'm seeing a lot of AI response. Okay, let's see. Majority of you said AI. This picture is real. Okay, all right, let's take a look at the next one. All right, how about this picture? What do you think this picture is? Do you think this is real or this is AI? And then you can look closely on your screen. You pick on the subtle things in there. Let's see, what do you think? Okay, so this time more people are saying real. Okay, what made you say so? This picture is AI generated. Okay, and you can see some of the inconsistencies on the picture if you look at the area here, the area in the back of the ear. You're gonna see a lot of things that might not be consistent to real. So you really have to dig closely and zoom in. But unfortunately, you can't do the zoom in right now. You're just looking at. How about this one? Let's check. See what you guys think. Is this real or AI? To me, it looks real. Just looking at the expression, the hair, maybe, I don't know. Let's see how well you are. So are you keeping score? So far, you need to start keeping score and see how many you guys get correct, okay? All right, so for question 3, I'm seeing a lot of AI answers. Very good. Some real, okay. So this is a real photo. Okay. Sometimes it's you look into carefully, it's like, okay, I can't really tell anymore which one is AI or not. All right, let's look at this one. This one is more of a landscape photo. What do you think? Is this AI or real? I'm seeing a lot of AI answers. Very good. This is an AI generated photo. There are no tulips in the city of Atlanta. Okay, how about this one? This one was taken in New York City. What do you think about question 5? Lots of responses here. Very good. Yeah, keep them coming. Keep them coming. Is this real or AI? Seeing lots. Now, this one is, except for a couple of people, AI for sure. Somebody said that. Yes, it is AI. There are no polar bears in New York City. Okay. It does snow like this, but no polar bears. All right, how about this one? This one is another landscape photo, a person kayaking, looks like Asia, somewhere in Asia. What do you guys think? Put it into the chat. What do you think? Is this AI generated or not? I mean, I would probably say do we have something like this in Florida? I don't think we have these features. Okay, this is a mix and match. Somebody said it's probably real. Okay, it is real. Very good. All right. All right, how many did you got so far? We got 10 going on here. All right, let's take a look at this. This is a Pokemon cake. Now, again, like I said, it's hard to tell right now. I've watched a lot of cake competitions. They really can do amazing job with cake. I've seen a sneaker, like a Nike shoe that is made out of cake. I mean, right now I couldn't even tell, but what do you guys think? Is this Pokemon cake real or AI? A lot real. That's a lot of you saying real. Okay. This is AI generated. Okay. AI generated. How about this one? Barbecue. Right. We're still a long ways for barbecue season, but can you tell whether a barbecue, the picture of a barbecue, making me hungry? Hopefully, you're having lunch around the same time as you're having this. We typically schedule Tech Tuesdays right around your lunchtime, so you can just soak in while you're eating your lunch. You're enjoying, and you're also learning along the way. What do you think? A lot of people are saying that this is real, 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 real. Oh my God. How well do you know your barbecue, right? It is real. Very good. Very good. All right, two more. This one is a newspaper clipping. Now you're going to have to read the text this time. So you're going to have to read the text, really determine if it's real or AI. Put it into the chat. Real or AI? I'm going to give you a little bit more time on this since there's a little bit of reading required. Okay, we're getting more and more answers. All right. Once you finish reading, don't overthink it. Let me know if you think this is written by a person or is an AI generated writing. Now, when you go into writing, it gets really, really hard to determine. But there's some people that are really good at it. All right, so let's see what you guys have. AI, several of you said it is an AI generated text. This one is real. This is an actual real text. How about this one? And I gave the where we actually pulled this from. It's at the bottom of the slide. So once you download your PowerPoint slide handout, you'll have that link there for you to verify. How about this one? This is the last one we're going to do. See how many we did correctly. Last one. You're going to have to, again, read. And it is cut off because it is a newspaper clipping. What do you think? If this AI or not? Keep going, keep going. All right, we got a good chunk of responses here. This is another mix where we have. Okay, somebody said it's all done by me, so it's real, right? At some point, should it be AI? I would say, is it AI assisted when I generated this? So this one is an AI generated text. And yes, you can get the effect of the newspaper, the crumpled newspaper background into effect. There's an AI website that can help you create like authentic newspaper clippings when you are, you want to create something that give that authentic feel of they're reading a newspaper. You can actually do it. All right, the links are on the handouts to the PowerPoint presentation. So where do you start when you're trying to use Chat GPT? So where do you start? So I'm going to just go in and jump into what Chat GPT is. Okay. So first of all, you need to know how to prompt. Okay. So the next few minutes, I'm going to be talking about structuring a powerful prompt because the outcome that you get, the product that you get, or the outcome that Chat GPT provides you is only as good as how well you crafted your prompt. So we're going to start practicing putting together a good prompt. So what is a prompt? It's a text generated. You're going to have to type this prompt into the chat bar with Chat GPT, and it could be a question or it could be an instruction. Okay. So let's talk about a basic structure of a prompt. Okay. So there's really three parts on the prompt. So the first part of the prompt is what you want Chat GPT to act as, or what role you want that Chat GPT can play. Okay. And then after that, you ask, you ask, you tag on there what you wanted to do or the task you wanted to do. And then you can add additional formatting or parameters or conditions that you wanted to perform those tasks. So starting with the role, ChatGPT can be any role. Okay, so whatever role you assign, that's gonna take that role. So if you ask ChatGPT, you're going to be a journalist, it's gonna ask, it's gonna create it's gonna create outputs that are using the jargon of a journalist, or really the tone and the way a journalist writes. It could be lawyer, it could be a historian, it could be an editor. You can even pick a comedian. It could be a character from a novel like Hansel and Gretel, or you can use Romeo or Juliet. You can have Chat GPT act at any role as you want. So you're now thinking, okay, wow, I've got a lot of applications now with with language learning, right? Because you can pick famous person like Martin Luther King. You can pick any particular, any past president or any somebody that has a specific speaking or writing style that you want to be evident. You can have ChatGPT perform that role. After that, you create the task. So the task could be anything that can be delivered to you as text in text format. So meaning you can ask it to write an email, create a summary or summarize a particular email, analyze a particular set of data, create an article, okay, or even a PowerPoint presentation or notes or transcript for a PowerPoint presentation. You can ask it to generate an activity for your class. So you can say, oh, hey, ChatGPT, I want you to act as an adult ESL instructor and create an activity, and so on and so forth. Or you can use it for your workplace preparation activities, like, okay, could you improve on this resume? Or can you create a cover letter for a particular job? And here are the specifications for that job. That specifications that I'm talking about is the format. So do you want it in paragraph form? It can list it as an essay. ChatGPT can format the response into a letter format, bullet points, table, HTML. It could even generate codes or computer coding if you want to go ahead and use the code to and feed the code into a website generator and create a website out of that code that ChatGPT created. So those are for the most advanced users. So for now, we're not creating websites, we're not creating code, we're not creating apps. We're only looking into a ChatGPT and its application to you as an adult ESL instructor. So the prompts get better and better as you add more details to your prompt. So the most basic of the prompt is a general or a generalized prompt. So if you say, hey, ChatGPT, act as a teacher, create a lesson plan for teaching grammar. So everything in here is very broad, right? So you're going to get anything under the sun, okay? It's not going to focus on one particular grammar. It's going to talk about grammar structure, but it's going to select whatever is easiest, whatever is more predominant in its data set, or based on its experience with you, it will pick that particular type of grammar lesson for you. But unless you specify it, it's going to be random, okay? Or it's going to be based on the pre-trained algorithm that you have, that relationship that you already have with your own Chat GPT. Now you can add, okay, let's make it a little bit better. Instead of just a plain lesson plan, I want to indicate what level of ESL learner, what level of ESOL students am I teaching? So now it's narrowing that grammar lesson into a particular level. It's still too general, right? It's still a lot out there. So now let's continue refining that by adding, let's say, okay, I want a particular lesson plan teaching grammar at this level of students, but this time I want that lesson to focus on collaboration, with lots of activity where there's interactions with students. So now I'm adding more layers to the instruction, right? But now as I do that, the response I'm getting from ChatGPT is getting better and better and more precise and more enhanced as I add more. And here's another one. Now, if I want a particular standard now for teaching grammar, okay, then you want to put in the standard, okay? So let's say, for example, you go into your curriculum frameworks, you copy the a particular standard that you're teaching for the day, and you can paste that standard directly to the last word here in this prompt, and it will create a lesson plan for that level of students with opportunity for collaboration aligned to that one particular standard. So now sky is the limit as to how much you want that lesson plan or activity to be customized. Again, like I said, if you want a particular outcome, you're going to have to be super, super specific with the outcome. Okay. So it's really the prompt. So here are some other sample prompts that, all right, so some of the things that we do in class, sometimes off the cuff, students finish the activity that you have and you want to come up with supplemental activities. So here are sample prompts. Act as a teacher, make a list of 5 listening activities for beginning ESL students. You can even enhance this by doing a particular topic. You can put in the objectives for the lesson, and then ChatGPT will even enhance that to match that particular objective. Review the text and correct all grammar and spelling mistakes and suggest improvements. So if you're grading, or let's say evaluating your students' work and they submit it to you in text format, you can copy that text that they submit to you. You can plop it into ChatGPT and say, okay, I want you to provide feedback, correct all spelling, and call all grammar mistakes. It's even going to start suggesting to you what grammar rule has been violated, and what could be the suggested fix for those particular grammatical errors. So ChatGPT can be as precise and all of that information in the response that they provide you. Or you can have ChatGPT do some brainstorming or do some problem solving for you, such as discuss and propose an organized event affected by a bad weather. So it's going to give you some ideas, and it's going to propose you for some solutions for having to deal with, let's say, having to cancel a particular event, what you're going to have to do with that. So it'll provide you with some suggestion. So again, the more detailed, the more specific the prompt is, the better response you're going to get from ChatGPT. So when can you use ChatGPT for instruction, right? So here are some of the uses of ChatGPT for teachers. All right. So first, you can use ChatGPT during your lesson planning. So what you're going to realize is that ChatGPT speeds up the amount of time needed for you to generate lessons, writing those objectives, rephrasing those objectives or standards to objectives that students could understand, coming up with activities that are aligned to the lesson, and then coming up with certain assessments for that objective that aligns to the objective. ChatGPT can do all of that for you. It also can help you with communicating with your students, writing an email for your students. It can create a professional email that you can send out to your students. It can make adjustments or corrections or improvements to your existing email. Okay, it can create progress reports. You can feed data into ChatGPT and it can look at, okay, tell me, ChatGPT, which are the problem areas that I need to focus on as a teacher based on this particular report. You can also generate welcome letters for your students. And coming into your class, you have like a pre-prepared welcome letters. It can generate the welcome letters into multiple languages that the students will understand. So the translation would be there as well. And then if you have common questions or common queries, that you don't like, oh, you have students keep asking you different questions but phrased differently, you can have Chat GPT look into those questions that are pretty much the same and have generate a generalized response, so you're not having to individually text back or email back particular several students that are asking the same questions. It can help you with your things that with the things that you do in class, like proofreading or editing or evaluating your students' written work. It can give you topic ideas for essays or question prompts that you want your students to be writing, or developing a thesis statement, or drawing a thesis statement, or finding the main idea for a particular text. ChatGPT can help you do that. You can feed text into Chat GPT. Let's say, okay, hey Chat GPT, here's a short story. Filter out vocabulary words for beginning level adult ESL students, and it will full on pull out all the vocabulary words that you need to be going over, including the definition. And if you want, it can also create a worksheet for you for vocabulary building exercises such as matching, fill in the blanks, or word bank. ChatGPT can also do character analysis. So if you feed in, let's say, a short story into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, can you provide me a character analysis? It will pull out all of the major characters in a particular story and analyze the role of each character and how they relate to each other. Another thing that I love the most is really the summary. So sometimes I get a bunch of text, a big email, or really, let's say, an email from the administrator, and I want to really summarize just that email into, let's say, bullet points. ChatGPT can do it for you. It can even analyze a poem. And then what I love the most is really generating assessments. So sometimes I've run out of test questions, or for example, I want CASA's. I know I want questions that are parallel to the questions that are being asked in CASA's tests. So I would give ChatGPT a few examples of CASA's release test items, and then I will have it generate similar test questions for me that are in multiple choice question types, and then it can generate as many as 10, 15, 20, 30 questions for you. It can create rubrics. So when we're having like project-based activities in class, it can create a usable rubric for you that you can use to evaluate the work. You just have to describe what particular activity or project your students are doing, and it'll do the rubrics for you. It'll even display the rubric in a tabular format that you can really just cut and paste into a Word document, so you can have a worksheet to work with when you're rating your students' work. It can provide sample responses, and it can also generate feedback. So for example, again, like I said earlier, you can copy and paste into some of the student work, writing exercises or writing examples from class, and ChatGPT can provide generalized feedback on that work, on how to improve that work, and including any other spelling or mechanical or grammatical errors that have been made by the student. So there's a lot of uses, but I can't cover a lot of those applications in 1 hour. So what you're going to see in your handout is, I got this online from Huang Mai Lee from Tissue Tech. And what she did is she put together the most common uses of ChatGPT or other artificial intelligence materials and platforms out there. And all of that is all summarized into this 20 ways to use ChatGPT in the classroom. It's in your handouts pages, so please download that if you want to, if this one is a little bit too hard to read on your printout. So now what I'm going to show you is I'm actually going to show you the navigation screen. It's going to be very similar navigation screen that you're going to see on your phone. It's only smaller. And show you that there are different parts of the navigation screen. So you have your chat bar, very similar to the chat bar that you use here on Zoom. That's where you chat the message. That's where you put in the prompt for ChatGPT. You also have the navigation toolbar on your left, which shows you the different chats you've had over time with Chat GPT, so you can keep track of the different conversations you've already had. The one on the top tells you your version. So right now, the free version that you are using is Chat GPT 3.5, and it's up to date up to September of 2021. I think there has a new update that updated it up to April 2022 information. So there's more information being loaded to ChatGPT as we speak. So if you are on the free version, just keep that in mind that the recent the timestamp for the information loaded into ChatGPT will only be as good as up to April of 2022. Now, if you get the Chat GPT 4 is for pay. You have to pay it. There's a monthly subscription to use that. There's also a limit into how many questions or prompts you can generate and the amount of data that you can use. That is all priced under the Chat GPT 4 platform. You want to explore that. That is up to you. But right, as for me, as a teacher, Chat GPT 3 is more than enough for me to use in the classroom. So just like I said, showed earlier, I've used ChatGPT to generate a lesson plan for me at a level 5 adult ESL level and a sample lesson plan. If you want to see what sample lesson plan, this time I wanted to create a lesson plan on context clues. If you want to see that actual lesson plan that was created, a sample of that, you can see it on your handouts page. I just wanted to show you how that's done here, where once you click on the forward button or the green arrow, that means the go, you're gonna see it's starting to generate this lesson plan in real time. Okay, so it gives you an assessment, it gives you extension activity, even gives you homework. It gives you ideas on what to do towards the end of the class. It itemizes what materials, how long the class lesson will take. And again, if you're not satisfied with this outcome, then you have to revise your prompt. Okay, so and you revise your prompt to make it a little bit better. Okay, activity takes too long, I want a shorter activity. Or it could be like, okay, I'd like more questions, I'd like more guided practice items. You can do that. Okay, so you can make all the necessary minute adjustments to the lesson plan, continuing your conversation with ChatGPT. Okay, I think we got a couple of comments here. We've got a question on the handouts. The handouts, you go to the Florida IPDay website, www.floridaipday.org, and go into the event calendar where you went and registered for this webinar. From that page, you can see the handouts downloadable from there. No, for the free GPT, there is no limit. So the free GPT is whatever, whatever you have time for. Okay. Now it does get slower. Okay, so you're having like deep conversation with ChatGPT, and you're having it to revise it multiple times, or you're having it to generate, let's say, 400 word or upwards of 500 words in text into the outcome. Then it starts to slow down. Okay, so that's when you're going to start to notice is on the free version, ChatGPT slows down with the amount of data that you feed in and the complexity of task you want it to perform. So yes, there is a sizable difference between the free version and not. Okay. What else? Yes, it does stop generating at some point. Yes. Again, that means that you have reached the maximum at that conversation thread. I normally go in and start a new thread of conversation. But again, like I said, the longer that thread goes, the slower it gets, and it can come to a point when it stops. Now, there was a point in time when there's a limit into the number of prompts you can have it generate. Now, I think they're doing away with that. You're just gonna have to tune in to OpenAI and see what updates they have. But I have not had gotten to a point where it stopped for me. Okay. So I don't know how hard you use Chat GPT. Yeah, and again, like I said, it's up to you if you want to go in and do the paid version yourselves. Okay, so now let's go into, so we got into lesson planning. I asked ChatGPT this time to create a worksheet for me. Some, because you can never have enough worksheets or activities in class, or at least the ones that fully align to the standards, or at least the ones that fully align to the lesson and subject matter that that you're doing for the day. So here's the one. And again, if you wanted to see the actual worksheet and you want to analyze that worksheet's generated, it's on the handouts. But I specifically wanted ChatGPT to create X number of questions, a worksheet that focuses on context clues, or really finding the word, the meaning of a particular word based on how it's used in the sentence. So what ChatGPT did for me is provided me with, it even has the name and the date where students can write the name and the date. It's got the directions, a word bank, sentences, and I want them to be in a multiple choice format, so it's mimics what's on the CASAS test, or CASAS Life and Work series. Then I also want it to be a little bit more challenging, where it's this time I want them to do a fill in the blank. So ChatGPT also had that variety in the question types that it generates. So another thing that we all normally do in our class is have them read, right? But sometimes you want a news article, a particular news article for something that is controversial, but you forgot to download that information ahead of time, and you're off the fly, and you just wanted to show an actual article or an AI generated article for your students to read and practice reading skills or practice reading strategies. Here's an example. See, sometimes it's taking a little bit of time to think because the prompt is too general. So it's having to select multiple and make those individual decisions for you. But it generates for me the article that I need on a particular topic. And this particular topic is focusing on AI, or artificial intelligence. Okay, and then there's a place where I can put in the city and the date or whatever to make it show like it looks like an actual news article. Okay, ChatGPT can also help you create a PowerPoint. Okay, so here is a PowerPoint that that I asked ChatGPT. Of course, you're gonna have to use a particular prompt. You're gonna have to add a particular line of text into your prompt in order for it to generate a code that you can then take and put it into your Microsoft PowerPoint, and it will generate the PowerPoint for you. Okay, so for the full set of instructions on how to ask ChatGPT to create PowerPoint presentations for a particular lesson or topic in class, what you're gonna need to do is look into the handouts, because I place in there the step-by-step instructions on how you can ask ChatGPT and have ChatGPT create a code for you, so that all you have to do is copy and paste that code into PowerPoint. But here's the final outcome of my presentation that was created by ChatGPT. This one is focusing on central ideas, which is highly assessed on both CASAS goals and CASAS life and work. This is the first slide it created. It's the second slide it created. It asked why do you need to, the importance of understanding what the central idea of text is, and then how you use central idea in everyday situation. You're going to notice that there's that numbering error here, so I have to make those minute corrections here on the code. It's not going to be 100% perfect. I can guarantee you that. It also gives me examples of central ideas and how they're supposed to sound, look, have to be straight to the point. And then that's it. So it gives me like, you can specify how many slides Chat GPT, how many slides you want Chat GPT to create for you. So let's say 5 slides, 6 slides, 10 slides, or whatever, for whatever topic you want, and you can be specific. Here is a listening activity. So it's very hard to create, sometimes we run out of listening activities in class for ESL. So here's one where I have to create an activity a listening activity in ChatGPT. So I wanted it to create a story of Thanksgiving, how Thanksgiving is being celebrated in Atlanta. So it wrote a story for me, right? But I don't want it to be a reading activity. I want it to be a listening activity. Now, once I am already satisfied with the story, the flow, and the information that it provided, I'm going to take that information, copy it, and then I'm going to go into another app called Natural Reader. And I'm going to paste that information on Natural Reader. And again, Natural Reader, you can customize whatever voice, if you want it male.
Once upon a time, in the vibrant city of Atlanta, Thanksgiving was celebrated in a way that blended tradition with the modern spirit of the city. Atlanta, known for its rich history and diverse culture, had a unique approach to this beloved holiday.
So as you can see, now I have a listening activity. Of course, I'm not going to show my screen to my student so they can strictly focus on the listening part and really gather the information that way. And so now I have an instant listening activity at my fingertips whenever I need it. Or I can really just dive deep and customize this listening activity to whatever particular objective I want to focus on. So for the link to Natural Reader, it's also included in your handouts. So there's a couple of things, a few things I want you to keep in mind when using ChatGPT. You cannot trust 100% its accuracy. So because ChatGPT is loaded information that were loaded by humans, and it's also like it's still in training mode, especially at the early stages when you start using ChatGPT, it's still not used to your ways. You need to make sure that you double check for accuracy. You also make sure that you double check the information that you're getting. Is it true or false? Because sometimes ChatGPT can create fictional information or add some fictional information based on what you're looking for. The timeliness, I already mentioned to you. If you're going to ask a question on ChatGPT about a particular question that's happening today that you heard about the news, it's not going to have that information because it's only, especially the free one, is only up to date till April 2022. And then the language. So ChatGPT works really well in English. And then as you change the languages, like you go into Spanish, you go into Haitian Creole, you go into Russian, you go into other European languages, it becomes less and less powerful because those languages are not fully up. So ChatGPT was invented in English, so it's most of that technology is going to be powerful in English, and it slowly, gradually decreases in quality in other languages. Last but not the least, you have to make sure that the information that ChatGPT provides you is relevant to what you're asking it to do. So as soon as the prompt loads, there is a thumbs up, thumbs down button at the end of the prompt. And whenever you're unhappy with or not satisfied, dissatisfied with the information that you receive, you can always click on the thumbs down button, and it's going to try to regenerate a different set of responses for you, and it'll ask you, is this better or is this worse? And then and then you can interact that way, and you can provide feedback that way, and that's how you can really, really enhance the relevancy of the responses you get from AI. And ChatGPT is not the only app out there. There's several apps. You got Google Bard, you've got Bing now that has AI as well built in. So pick one that's available to you, because some AI technologies might be blocked in your school computer. So pick one that is not blocked or do it at home. Use your phone. Your smartphone has a lot of AI available there that you can use. Um, Now, I want you to take a moment to start trying this out. We got about a minute left here on time. Um, Try out some prompts such as create a lesson plan, see what you're going to get, and see if you're satisfied. You just start playing around with it. And again, on your phone, this is the message bar. That's when you can get in. If you click on this wavelength, you can actually speak to it, and it will record what you want. And then you can click on this blue button to enter your prompt, and it will generate it for you. Just have that interaction with it. Really, in summary, again, communicate well, be specific. You're gonna get a human-like response. You make sure that you analyze that response before actually using it or posting it or using it in classroom. You train your Chat GPT, have that relationship. Make sure that you're providing it the necessary feedback if you like the response or not, and provide the necessary feedback that it needs to enhance it. Use the different guidelines and policies. Do not provide ChatGPT with any of your private or personal information. Do not give it your address, your social security number, or things like that. And make sure that you're thinking about and really doing some critical thinking of how you're using ChatGPT in your classroom, because you don't want to put yourself at the point where, okay, a lot of this information is questionable, and then your students realizing you are using mostly AI generated information for them. So for questions, feel free to type it into the chat bar. But right now, this is just a beginner session. So we're looking into maybe thinking about a more advanced part 2 or part 3 to this webinar. So please tune in and looking into the IPDay webinar Tech Tuesday calendar, see what's coming up. But I really appreciate you tuning in. Please take a moment at this time to complete the feedback survey that is popping in front of your screens. While you're doing that, I just wanted to give you a reminder that we have another webinar coming up on February 7th, and I am also doing that webinar, so I'd like to see you there. Tune in as well. This one is on a webinar Wednesday on February 7th. The title of that webinar is Get There with Mathematical Reasoning Skills Recap. If you have attended our regional mathematics workshop through IPDay in your various regions, this is another perfect webinar for you. If not, or if you didn't have any opportunity to attend those face-to-face regional workshop, this is the opportunity for you to get a taste of what's really happening and what the content is of those regional workshop. That's going to be on Wednesday, February 7th, starting at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. With that said, thank you very much for tuning in this afternoon for your Tech Tuesday. This is Ron Cruz signing off.